It's on!
Hello, and we're on. Welcome back. It's Disney Parks Talk Live here at Laughing Place. I'm Rebecca Mosley, the site's co-founder, and some of our team is missing. They are either on assignment or got other things, and they won't be here. We'll be missing Doobie and Jeremiah, but Mike Celestino is back from his holiday vacation. How you doing, Mike?
Great. Yeah, we had a blast. We went to Denver, Colorado to do a few things, and it was a nice trip. It was a little scary watching everything going on in LA while we were gone, but glad to be back, and we're safe here in Burbank for the time being.
Very good.
Mike went to
Down below.
Casa Bonita.
I know. I should have grabbed that to talk about. But down below on Main Street at Magic Kingdom is our animation guru around these parts, Tony Betty. How you doing, Tony?
Hello. I don't know what you asked. You broke up a little bit, but that's because I'm in the field. But yeah.
Okay, no worries.
Things are good. It's a little chilly, so I'm a little dressed up. And by chilly, I mean low 60s, so it's Florida cold.
Yeah, I get that. Let's see. We're going to just jump right into the news, starting off with a little bit of cruise line info that popped up last week. I know, Tony, you got to write this up. What grabbed you out of the news from the cruise line? If he's able to hear me. Did I lose Tony in the midst of all this? They have announced a new class of ship. We knew that additional ships were coming to the fleet, but we've learned a little bit more about them. Are you with us, Tony? And you can tell us what
I'm here.
we know?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So I'm assuming you introduced it's a new class of ship. It's smaller than the current set. So what they announced was there's going to be one more of those 4 new ones they announced. Remember, All for One came out, and the big thing is because all 4. There's the 4 in the name, so it was 4 ships. One of them will be a Wish class ship again, and then the next 3 will actually be part of this newer class, which is going to be smaller than the Wish class. Now, here's where it gets fun. They are larger than the original 2, the Magic and the Wonder, but they're going to be smaller than the Dream and the Fantasy. So it's making it more accessible, so they can go into more different destinations and different locations. So I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about your speculation on the sizing, but but I think it gives it greater flexibility regarding destination locations.
Yep.
So I'm excited.
I've heard talk about like, oh, we want to see a Wish class, or like, is there going to be an Alaska treasure or something like that? And I'm like, they can't go in there. Like, that's not allowed. There's a limitation on that. That's why it's always the Wonder.
And that means, and with this announcement, we have a better idea of what that fleet of 13 that is going to be around in 2031, right?
Yes, by the end it'll be 31. Because it's easy to remember because it's 13, 31. Flip it. But moving on, I don't think there will be 13 personally. Now that we know that by the time we get to 2031, based on what we know. The average cruise ship lifespan is about 35 years if well maintained, and Disney keeps theirs well maintained. So I don't know that we will retain the Magic and the Wonder as long as we want to.
I'm interested.
Speculative speaking.
Yeah, no, total speculation. In fact, I think that's one of Doobie's like bold predictions. Yeah, I can't remember for sure.
Now,
by the way, Mike C, just so you know, next week you'll be on the hot seat when Doobie and Jeremiah are back. We each had to come up with 2 parks related bold predictions, and I figured I'd let them ask you when they get back. But I wanted.
It had to be for the calendar year of 2025, or could it be beyond that?
The framing is 2025. What do you anticipate in 2025? Disney parks and experiences wise? But you were saying, Tony.
Well, I was going to say, now I know DCL has given up a lot of nautical tradition with their newer ships and stopped paying homage. But if you were to get rid of them, theoretically, it would be the Magic 2 and the Wonder 2. So would they stick with those names, or would we have something completely new?
Okay.
So like the QE2, the Queen Elizabeth II.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, there was a Titanic 2 planned at one time. But yeah, there's always a 2.
Okay. Well, Tony popping in with some speculation on the future of DCL. Our very own Alex was down at the Disneyland Resort. This was for the Lorcana North American Championship event. It's a Disney themed card game. To me, I guess, what is it, like Magic? Is Magic the Gathering? Is that the comparison?
I would say it's a fair comparison.
Okay.
I've heard others say Pokemon too, but I don't think that's like, maybe in terms of trading, but gameplay, I think it's more like Magic.
Well, the player that Alex had been focusing on throughout the event, sharing with us his progress, Edmund, he ended up being the event winner. And we actually have a interview with him. So be sure to check out our coverage of that event that happened at Disneyland. And that means that he will now travel at some point. The date has not been announced, to Walt Disney World.
No.
For continuing competition in Disney Lorcana. Anything? I am not a card person. Mike, is this a genre of entertainment that you pop your head into every now and again?
I'm the kind of person who I wish that I had more time to play games like this. But my wife and I were just talking recently about how many games we own but never get to play. And I actually was given recently, I forget where, somebody at some event gave me 2 packs. Oh, you know what? Might have been that D23 on the lot event. I got 2 packs of Lorcana cards. So I now own a small amount of Lorcana cards. I don't think it's going to get me into the game, but I admire people who have the time to really invest into a game like this. And
meanwhile, the viewers that play are about to come after Mike. Give me your cards. So.
Yeah, I don't know if I got anything like good or rare or whatever, but yeah, I enjoy knowing that this is out there and that it exists, and I wish I had more time to play stuff like that. But yeah, it's cool.
I love the art on the cards, and that's why I want to play. And my wife, who's sitting across from me now, is giving me an eye because she knows I can't, because I'll never play it. I'll just sit there and collect all the cards.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the artwork is beautiful. I hear from a lot of people how amazing the art is, and in fact, the card designs were actually used when they were announcing Villains Land, which has led our site editor to speculate, to put out there as his bold prediction that it will be in essence of a Lorcana land. So
I know a lot of former animators, well, they're still animators, but former Disney animators were pulled back, and they actually did some of the Lorcana cards. Like Tony Bancroft and Tom Bancroft, his brother. Like, he did Mushu in Mulan.
Oh wow!
So he will find, like, and fans will bring him the Mushu cards, I guess there are, and he'll draw a new Mushu over them and whatnot. So I think that's fun. I'm like, but you can never play with that card, or at least I would never play with that card. I'd go under glass. But
I saw Alex got his autograph by Mickey.
Oh.
Yeah, there was a new card that debuted in Paris at the European Championship that has the autograph spot. I remember I wrote up that post, and I thought that was interesting, but fun.
While you were gone, Mike, Roosevelt's dropped some Goofy movie gear, and Tony was out here saying that he wanted to frame one of them and put it up on his wall because it had concept designs on it.
I might, yeah, because some of it's all concept art. I'm not wearing it today. I actually got mine from them recently, so thank you guys for that. But I'll be wearing it soon enough, and it has I've never before seen concept art on the shirt, and I think it's funny because there's final form of Roxanne, but then you could still also spot early Roxanne in there too. So
I have a Star Wars concept art shirt from Roosevelt's that I love. It's all Ralph McQuarrie art.
Nice.
So good.
I love the idea that concept art is now print design for button-up shirts.
They've made numerous action figures based on Star Wars concept art. I don't really collect those, but it's interesting that they exist.
It's wild. Well, moving on to popular figures, we're going to talk about Figment, and a bunch of new merchandise has arrived over in Epcot. Some of it has kind of a cosplay feel. this pullover hoodie here, Mike. It has 2 tiny wings on the back and horns on the hoodie.
Of a
Would
steer.
you? Yes, you're right. Would you? Would you, Mike Celestino, throw on a Figment hoodie and do your best as the delightful figment of the imagination?
I'm on the fence about this one. It's close to something that I wouldn't be embarrassed to wear it, but I don't know.
Okay.
It's not something that I would buy for myself.
How about you, Tony? Is this going on the wish list?
No, it's not my shade of purple, but that's not to say there's not another character out there. If that was a Buzzy hoodie, take my money.
Okay. How about you, Mike? What character would they need to be tossing on there to get the Celestino bucks?
Oh gosh. Let's see.
Celestino bucks are worth 0.01 of a cent.
I guess I don't know if they did like a Scrooge McDuck, like his vest or something.
Gotcha.
Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. See, they've done mine, and I bought it. It was Minnie Mouse in her little red, like the red polka dot. So I mean,
Yeah.
they've already grabbed the Becca bucks. So
Okay.
you know, it is
Becca
what
bucks
it
are
is.
also worth 0.01 of a cent.
This time of year, it's Figment all the time at Epcot. Not only did they have that line of merchandise, but with the upcoming International Festival of the Arts, which starts at the end of this week and goes through like February 24th.
It's the shortest one, and I hate that. But anyway.
Right? So true. We've gathered up the various artists who are going to be signing work and available to chat with you about their art. They've been sharing their appearance dates and locations and whatnot on Instagram, and we've gathered those. So be sure to check out the links below to find out more about the amazing array of talent, where and when you can find them throughout the event. This is also the event that has Disney on Broadway concerts. Tony, what do you look forward to the most when it comes to Festival of the Arts?
My decrease in my credit score. No. I just love all the new stuff, especially if it's in terms of art, especially if it's like a deep cut fan one. Those are usually good. I know last year there was Rob Kaz did a Maelstrom piece that was great. I just like just seeing all the artists come out and seeing what they have and what wares they're peddling. That's probably my favorite event. It reminds me of like more local festivals where you go through and there's all the tents that you're just walking through. Granted, it's more spread out through World Showcase, but it's the same idea. And that's what I like. The Broadway ones, I always felt when the first few years they did it, I always felt that was lower key, but now they've like started pumping more into that, and that's become almost like on a par with some of those performers, like when Boyz II Men shows up for Food and Wine, and it gets big. I know last year my wife and I saw the original Frozen cast, and that was just a huge draw. So that was fun. But yeah. But yeah, it's just all the new art.
Joanne is popping in and saying that she loves Festival of Arts. The first one she went to, she met Marty Sklar there. That's pretty amazing. The collection of related merchandise is also right now available on Disney Store. Items like this, where you have the Figment. As I say, this is the celebration of Figment Festival of the Arts. You find
basically
him throughout merchandise. He is everywhere. And this year he has a new popcorn bucket. Mike, I need to know, are you a fan? It is Figment on top of the Imagination light bulb logo with the wings. What you think?
It's pretty nice. I vowed probably 5 years ago to stop buying popcorn buckets, so I don't think I would buy it, but I do think it's a nice one.
Yeah.
If they gave it to you, would you keep it?
Well, I am incapable of throwing anything away, as if you ask Tori, she'll confirm that for you. So yeah, the answer is yes.
I
like that it channels the Imagination Institute light bulb design from the early 2000s makeover, or maybe it was late 90s. Late 90s, either way, the second incarnation of the ride. I think that's a little like fun in a throwbacky way, but if they had the Imagination Institute logo on it, I'd definitely be more inclined. But I think of the Figment buckets, this is the lesser effort, personally.
I like that they've included like the little turn the light bulb on pull.
Yeah.
Pull. I like that touch. I can't figure out what Figment is holding in his hand.
It looks like a cheese doodle.
So I'm eager to see that aspect closer up when the buckets actually hit the booth later. So you guys will have to get that to me. And I like the strap. I like the coloration on the strap. But I'll be honest, to me it looks like he's pooping, is like colorful poop. So it's not. I'm not a fan of this particular one.
And you might do the same if you eat all of that popcorn in one sitting.
Continuing with the celebration of Figment, he's featured in a delightful dish that will be available over there in the new Connections area, I think is where I remember.
Is it a pop quiz? Connections Cafe or Connections Eatery?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I can't keep it straight. But this is just one of the many fun items coming. They're going to do a liquid nitrogen MIDI cake pop, because that says Instagram me tomorrow. So there you go. I have gathered up a couple of items, and you guys can let me know, yay or nay, if you'd eat them. I'm calling them enviable eats. I'm going to start off with a Craftsman, an item from Craftsman Courtyard. This is beef Wellington inspired. It's kind of a deconstructed beef Wellington. So you've got cream spinach. The croissant pinwheel, Mike would have to skip. But they've got a mushroom and gorgonzola ragu. You've got this mustard grilled flank steak, some red wine sauce, some little pickled mustard seeds. Yay or nay, Tony?
I'd be inclined to try it. I don't know that I would like beeline for it, but if I walked by and there was no wait, probably I'd be like, oh, let me try this one out.
How about you, Mike?
Yeah, if they could whip me up a gluten-free version or just leave the croissant out, I would definitely try this.
Okay, this one's a little bit of Italy on the plate. It's a
Take my money.
Collection of raviolini. So you've got a pomodoro sauce on one, you've got a cream, probably like an Alfredo type on the other, and then finally a pesto sauce. This is over at Italy of all things. Yummy, yummy.
I'd do that one. I'm sure you're
did they misspell? What is ravioloni? I have never seen this word before. I don't know.
I'm wondering if it's like the certain way that particular ravioli is shaped and presented, as opposed to like in a traditional squared la 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 la. Yeah, I had the same question when I copied and pasted it from the item.
The Art of Eating is the name of that one. Sorry.
Near American Adventure, we've got a trio of deviled eggs, a pimento cheese, a green goddess, and a BLT. Now I'd have to go with the LT minus the B. But this looks fun to me. How about you guys?
I'm interested in that.
Okay.
My wife will vouch whenever she makes the deviled eggs. No, whenever she makes the deviled eggs, I'll eat all of them. So I would try this one out. I just have a feeling this one's going to be $10.75 for the 3 eggs.
Oh, yeah, I don't have pricing, so I can't speak to it as a pricing. I
don't know for sure. That's just a guess. We'll find out Friday.
Apparently, Nikki thinks that item was ravioli plus beefaroni. So there you go. Continuing our World Showcase food items. This is over by Canada. It's a spin on. Oh, I have the wrong title at the bottom. Sorry, you guys, because this is actually a
more deviled eggs on fries.
It's a poutine dish. And instead of the typical gravy and that dynamic, we're looking at a mozzarella and basil pesto and some confit tomato. So it's kind of a combination of what's that salad called when you get that? Oh, it's out of my head. He's going to be yelling at the
I don't remember.
Caprese.
Caprese. Yeah. I was like, there's a P in there. There's a hard P in there.
A caprese poutine. So I thought this would be weird, and so I want to try it because I love caprese and I love French fries. So find out what happens when 2 dishes collide.
I don't know about caprese French fries, but
okay.
I just got a raised eyebrow from across the table.
Then let me try and sell you on my final enviable eat. and that is escargot en chocolat. And it's not what you think. It's a chocolate mousse flourless cake. It's got a citrus coulis, so a little bit of the tart, an almond chocolate coating, and this dark chocolate snail-looking design.
I honestly thought those were the Jerry's from Seoul for a second in chocolate form. But
at first glance, I thought they were supposed to be frog legs, but no, they're snails.
Yeah, escargot en chocolat.
From Chalk Hoppers.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Very good. Would you guys eat these?
I'd try it.
Yeah.
Looks like
Sure.
a nice little bonbon type, like a nice little just mouthful of something. How about you, Nikki B? You gonna join me in some escargot en chocolat? When I first read it, I'm like, they're dipping snails in chocolate. No, thank you. I mean, not that I eat snails to begin with, but you can't even dip them in chocolate and make it sound good to me.
These booths are lazily named The Art of French Cuisine.
Yep. Over there at I even had to copy and paste from our site because it has that interesting C that I don't know its name when you're using it within spelling things in France. So there you go. Also happening in the future, if you're a DVC member, we've got registration dates for Moonlight Magic. So a nice variety of events coming up in with registration in a couple of days, like January 15th. If you are already booked at a resort, they've got Disneyland, Disney's Hollywood Studios event January 26th, a DCA event February 3rd, a DAC event February 12th. We've got some events coming up in July and August out in Florida, one at Epcot, another one over at Typhoon Lagoon. They've got some events in the fall as well. So we've got registration information on the site. If you are a DVC eligible DVC member, you can find out more details at the link below. But with that first of the windows opening up, wanted to be sure that you were aware to stop by and take a look at that. Tony, you are over on the East Coast, so you probably know about this closure. Yes? Or
I've heard of the closure. I have not yet seen it close outside of the there's a little marquee sign outside of the pyramid in the little showcase on the middle of the pathway. And that's got a nice little burlap sack over it, like it doesn't want to talk to anybody. So
that's what they've done over there.
Yep,
to let you know
little
that
burlap
Grand
sack.
Fiesta is not open. It is undergoing a 2-month-long refurbishment. So I like the way that Luke wrote this up. Donald, Jose, and Panchito are taking a break from touring.
I feel like that's also like the press line for why it's closed. So
we don't expect major changes to the experience. They haven't been as in they haven't been announced at this time. But it is a 2-month-long refurbishment there at Epcot. Mike, are you a fan of the Mexico boat ride? Is this on the Celestino to-do list whenever you find yourself out there?
Yeah, I grew up loving the Rio del Tiempo.
Okay.
So we do try to go on this one whenever we're down there. It's not the same, obviously, but I do, as a Donald fan and a Three Caballeros fan, I enjoyed this version as well. So,
hey man,
yeah.
It's very similar.
Yeah.
So when you see a picture of the pyramid, what do you hear in your head first? Do you hear, because I bounce back and forth between sometimes it instantly triggers what Tony was just saying.
Yep.
And then there are other times where it triggers hasta la vista. That's what I start hearing.
I just think about that guy who tried to climb it a few years ago.
So I don't hear the hasta la vista part, especially because Rob Paulson, who's the voice of Yakko Warner, also did the voice of Jose Carioca. And I hear that every time. It's just Yakko saying, okay, goodbye now. So
okay.
Yep.
Okay, so you think of the Warner Brothers Tower.
A little bit, yeah. If I'm hearing that part. But if I look at the pyramid, I definitely hear yes, you just said El Rio del Tiempo, and I just so
such a catchy little beat.
Sort of a related tidbit, when we were in Denver over the last week, we could not stop singing. It was my fault because I introduced it to the group. We could not stop singing the theme song to the late 1980s Saturday morning cartoon Denver the Last Dinosaur.
Oh my gosh.
Which Rob Paulson was a voice cast member
Yes.
on that show. So
And of course you know that theme. So I'm glad you know the show. I feel like every time I bring up that show, people go, I've never heard of that.
I've not heard of it. I'm gonna have to look
see?
it up.
See, there you go.
we actually watched the double length pilot last week. It's like 47 minutes long. It's intolerable.
Wow.
And it's like this bad like rock song too, isn't it? If I remember it right.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if it'll ring a bell once I turn it on. I'm gonna have to check that. Okay, I'm gonna have to Denver the Last Dinosaur.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll watch it.
I'm gonna think about that, and I think I already have it stuck in my head. So
I'll
thanks, Mike.
I'll get back to you
Denver.
next week, Mike, and let you know for sure whether or not once I've seen it was it familiar or not. But Mike, I am glad that you were on vacation last week, so you didn't have to go on the emotional roller coaster.
I followed along. I was following along.
Okay, so let me set the stage real quick, and then you can tell us what it was like as a fan to experience this timeline. And that was initially Disneyland had posted dates that made it appear as though we were going to have the original Haunted Mansion during the Halloween season, and that it wouldn't transform until later in the season. And so Haunted Mansion fans such as you were going to have it. So tell us, Mike, what was it like when you thought you were going to be Halloween Day in the classic?
Well, I recently appeared on our friend Justin Smith's podcast called Downtown Toontown. He invited me on at the end of the Halloween season this year to talk about all the Halloween season goings on at the theme parks in Southern California. And we actually covered that topic of like whether we thought Haunted Mansion Holiday had too long of a run in the year, if it took up too much of the too many months worth of time at Disneyland. And I fell on the side of, I would rather have the original Haunted Mansion, or the current state of the original Haunted Mansion, classic Haunted Mansion during the Halloween season. So it would have been fun. It would have been exciting. I would have been happy about it, but I get it. They have a pattern that they need to stick to, I guess.
When that news broke, my first thought was somebody check on Ryan Gosling, because there's a video that circulates of him very passionately begging them to keep it open for Halloween.
It felt so like possible because it's the 70th anniversary of the park beginning in July. So it was like,
it was closed all of last year, 2024.
Like,
so
okay, that's cool. I'm at the point where I kind of wish it would alternate. Like it wasn't an every year thing that we always had Jack and his friends. Like maybe even if they did like every third year or something, where there was some sort of cyclical nature.
So you want it to be the Pixar Fest of the Haunted Mansion?
Sure.
Every 6 years or so.
Sure. It doesn't have to be that far, but yeah. Yes.
Especially now with the really nice looking new queue area, and I haven't been on Classic Haunted Mansion for over a year, like a year and a half. So it would have been nice.
Yeah. But as it turns out, it will be as it has been. And we have the details in the article below. So it will be here for the Halloween time. That's what they call it. Yeah, Halloween time fun that the Disneyland Resort has become known for out there. Let's see, Tony, you got to tour around Dinoland today live during a walk and talk.
Yeah. I'd like to state the Dinoland USA is still open and thriving. It's just missing a chunk. Chester and Hester's Dinorama is basically what's closed. So I know Universal tweeted out earlier today, basically, if only we were a place to experience dinosaurs in a theme park. Oh wait, like just being a little sassy, which is fun. Don't get me wrong, it's 100% fun. But Dinoland is still open. Dinosaur is still open. Restaurantosaurus is still open. The Boneyard is still open. All that we really lost so far is Chester and Hester's, bathrooms with an old Epcot sticker on them, and the Triceratops spin and the Midway games.
I was surprised at the amount of love that I saw for the closing Midway games expressed on socials. And
And
again,
apparently, Triceratops Spin had like an hours long wait last night also, and they had to actually turn people away.
yeah, exactly. I saw that as well. Yeah, no, I was a bit surprised. So I was trying to think. So, Mike, is there a spinner that if it was going away, you would have to queue up and you'd be like, no, don't close it. I have to experience this just one more time before it leaves. I can't.
Well,
I'll
I
be
mean, when A Bug's Land was closing, I did go on all the rides on the last day, but that was part of my job. So I don't know if I would have done that.
Not a spinner.
No,
Even,
but
I would binge that ride 100 times over. So you're
Yeah.
not winning me over. What spinner?
I don't. I mean, I would. I think Dumbo would be the one,
Okay, I would.
and only Disneyland's.
What about Astro Orbiter? Knowing it was coming off the roof, could you go back in time and go? Right? Would you go ride that one again?
you need view.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if I did.
Did anybody know it was coming? I think everybody knew. I was 7th grade. Don't ask me.
Yeah,
But,
I'm trying to remember if that was a thing, because now I'm going to be like, oh yeah, I was one of those people who waited in a very long line for something that 2 weeks prior I probably could have, hit in a short amount of time. But yeah, I don't know. I still miss the days when the park would stay open so late that we would have 2 a.m. meetups at the ride with bottles of bubbles. And we would we would have a large enough group that we would all ride Dumbo together with our
Mike's
bubble
furrowed brow
wands.
tells me he would not be at that meetup.
we would ride with our bubble wands, and the sky would fill with bubbles, and it was a thing that we would do. I don't know, once or twice a year when the park would stay.
And that's why
open
they sell bubble wands now. Fun fact.
Yeah, our fault because
Yep.
of us. They now sell bubble wands. It was much harder back then because you actually had to, poke it in and pull it up, poke it in, pull it up. They didn't have bubble wands, weren't really a thing. So, but while you were doing this look at Dinoland, you stumbled upon something which seemingly shocked you to your core.
So they're outside of Dinoland, and yes, we know
Oh,
Dinosaur
sorry,
is
it's going to
also.
jump in here. Audio.
Okay.
Okay, you can talk now. I turned them off.
Dinosaur is marked for extinction, but before that, because we already have the opening date on Zootopia, Zoo Together Forever, it's tough to be a bug. It's probably going to be our next extinct event here, and I was like, okay, well, I better go check it out. Hopper has not functioned in the last 8 times I've seen this show, and I don't see it regularly. So I go in there and I'm just sitting there, and all of a sudden you hear the boom, and to my surprise, up pops Hopper for the first time in at least 3 years, probably actually since pre-pandemic that I recall. And there he was, and I just got so excited that I went back and did it again without filming it. So
I can't stand that ride.
Oh, I'm the evil guy cackling in the background as everybody's screaming and running for the exit. And the fog effects were fantastic. Like, it got to a point where if you go back and watch our live stream today, we could see it being vented out of the tree, and I thought the tree was smoking.
Oh no.
That's how good the fog. They were on, like, when he holds up the spray bottle and it fills up. Whole room was filled. Strobes going out. It was exactly how I love my Tough to Be a Bug experience. So,
how many families left early?
The first one I saw one. The second one, I don't think any did. So, yeah.
I can't remember the last time I was at that all the way through and didn't see anybody clearly terrified leaving early.
Yep.
Is that when you recall, Mike? Have you been to between California and Florida, you've probably seen it a few times over its run.
Yeah, in fact, we did it. Let's see, we were there about a year ago at Animal Kingdom and did it then along with Dinosaur because we knew it was eventually going away.
Are you an in-theater effect fan when it comes to those kinds of theme park experiences?
Yeah, it reminds me of the movie Matinee. I'm sure Tony knows what I'm talking about.
I do. That actually is why I don't sit on balconies in movie theaters. But
Okay.
no, I will add. I sat in different seats the 2 times I did it, and both times, not a lot of the effects in the seats were working. Some might call that a win, because you're not getting poked in the back or shot with the compressed air. So
I always would go to that attraction, and if I had like a sweatshirt or my family had sweatshirts, I would borrow everybody's stuff to cover up the back of the seat and cover and sit on it. And no, I would sit like way on the front edge of the seat, and then I would leave early. I would get up early because oh no, it's just I like my we've talked about this before. I like my entertainment over there. I like my little zone of security where I know I am safe. It's like you don't kill the lead in a movie that I like. You don't kill the lead. We have a zone of security.
When did the in-theater effects craze start? Because at a certain point, every park had one, right? So, like, I know Captain EO had lasers, but I don't think it had much else, if I remember right, in its original form. And then Muppet Vision had the bubbles and the actual performer of Freedom. But
and the water.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
And then, but like Honey, I Shrunk the Audience, I think is really where they like pushed it to the new level with the mice and
the whole theater's on a shaker plate. Let's not forget that.
Yeah. The mice and the thing the lion at your feet. That was the rough one for me because that could sting. Whatever they were whipping your legs with that thing. The first time I experienced that attraction, that was like on the verge of pain.
Do you want the magic's biggest secrets revealed?
What?
Of what was getting you?
Oh, I've peaked.
Okay. Because having worked an effects show at a certain point in my career,
where I met my adoring wife,
I can tell you exactly how they work and function.
No, I've peaked at times when there aren't a lot of. That's one of the great things about going to a theme park when it's not very crowded, right? Is you make sure to sit by an empty, like 4 or 5 empty seats in a theater like that, so you can see everything that usually is happening that you can't see because of the people. Like one of my favorites would be going to PhilharMagic with like 2 other people, and you can just see the little bits of water when the splashes happen. It's like, wow, that's actually quite a bit of water when you see it like all like that, no people.
So I'm curious now because
we're losing Muppet Vision. We don't know if there's going to be another 3D movie there. We know that theater's still going based on the art, but what will be there, we don't know. Let's be real. The Pixar Disney Short Film Festival is a filler for whatever. It's tough to be a bug is getting the new 3D movie. Is PhilharMagic going to be the next one? Because that's already almost 25 years old this year, I think. No, it was 2003. But yeah, so it's got the new scene, but
it's such an easy way to showcase what do you think, Mike? What's your feeling on the longevity for PhilharMagic given what Tony just laid out?
I mean, since it moved to California Adventure, I think I've done it twice. I think I did it when it first opened and when the Coco segment was put in there. It's not my cup of tea, but I understand the demographic that they're targeting and the people eating nature of it. So I don't know. I'm not the average theme park guest, I suppose.
I'll also argue,
yeah,
to Mike's point, California 3D movies outside of when it was Captain EO, but that's basically a glorified music video and that's a different era. But nowadays, 3D movies in California don't work because there's no repeatability to them. And 85% of
California Disneyland goers are repeat guests and pass holders. So I don't foresee a day where they're going to put any new 3D effect shows in California.
Okay.
Personally.
Yeah, no, I can understand that point. I'm interested I'm interested to see how the Zootopia product hits.
I was talking about this with Luke too. I think Zootopia is a great fit anywhere in Animal Kingdom except inside that tree, because I don't understand how you're going to tell the story like all of these giant animals live inside this tree. So,
I am very curious how that's going to be
Yeah.
framed when you
because
enter
the whole point is you're going in and under it and becoming bug sized going into this tree. So, we'll see.
So are they getting this, or do they already have the same show at Zootopia, the Zootopia Land proper?
No,
January?
this is a brand new one as far as I know.
Okay.
Yeah, same. I haven't been there, so I can't speak to it for sure. But I'm not remembering it being a clone of something that we've seen
I
previously.
know the animatronic we're getting to replace the Hopper one, to make this full circle here, is in the attractions pre-show at Zootopia Hot Pursuit or whatever it's called. But yeah.
And it's Clawhauser? Is that
it's
who it
Clawhauser.
is? Okay. Gotcha.
Okay.
She's thinking, okay.
No, I'm like, what if that figure that you're seeing with the Hopper, if it hasn't been there for a while, what if it's actually just able to be reskinned? So it's like, in essence, a bit of the transformation occurring kind of in front of our eye, right in front of our face, even though it's not. Do you know what I mean?
I hear that. I wonder if the base effect and everything like that lifts it up, because it is a whole apparatus that launches it, is part of that. 100% that makes sense. And if you go back and watch that video, and I hate to say it, I'm glad it's working, but he is in rough shape. He's just kind of almost like a gaming chair, just kind of swiveling, and then his eyes are kind of half droopy, and he does a little bit going on, but it's not the full-fledged forearm.
Wouldn't it be funny?
Going crazy Hopper, we know. So actually, now that you say that, I do think there's some credence in that theory.
Wouldn't that be funny? Oh, that's wild, ridiculous Rebecca speculation.
Yeah,
I don't think
it's going to be the same figure per se, but the base and apparatus, that aspect, it could easily be reused. Easily.
That'd be fun. By the way,
like us saying it's
sometimes when you're leaning forward, you begin to get muffled. I don't know if there's a mic that you're ending up blocking, but just so you know,
I need to stop eating sugar and lose some chins. So,
continuing with a little bit more Zootopia 2 news, over at Shanghai Disney Resort, they're celebrating the Year of the Snake with the help of Gary the Snake from Zootopia 2, which only furthers my point that I made last week, that why is it Donald Duck on the DCA Tumblr for the Year of the Snake during the Lunar New Year celebration at California Adventure? You can find out, Mike, because you'll be there. Right?
Aren't there other Disney snakes that they could have put on there?
Yeah. Well, I was worried that maybe like culturally you shouldn't pick that, like there was specific dynamics regarding
most of them are villains,
type of character, because they tend to be villains. So, but we have Gary the Snake from Zootopia popping in over at Shanghai Disney Resort. Their festivities start Wednesday, January 15th. So stay tuned as we share more images and information as they become available from over there in Shanghai. And as we wrap up, because I thank you, Tony, for stopping in during your time over there at Magic Kingdom. But our very own Jeremiah is not here because he is in Paris, and we'll be showcasing more about this. But they have a new nighttime show over there entitled Disney Tales of Magic. And it's using projections for the first time on the buildings of Main Street. They're obviously utilizing those beautiful fountains, projections on the castle, along with drones. So just a lovely spectacle. I'm sure Jeremiah will gush about it when he is here next week based upon what he said on Twitter. But did you get to watch it, Tony?
He'll call it amazing.
Did you watch any of it yet? Because I know you're a fan of nighttime.
Yeah, I've seen part of it. I love how they incorporate the fountains with the castle. And the part that I did see was the drones making the little green men from Toy Story. So I enjoyed that. I love that their drones have dimension and they actually like sculpt the thing. Whereas like when we had the one at Disney Springs, it was just kind of like a flat cutout almost of the character. So
Paris, teach some folks in Florida some things.
Oh, Mike, did you have a chance to check out any of the footage that Jeremiah's brought us so far? If not, Jeremiah will be here next week, and you'll be here next week.
Mike was at Casa Bonita.
Wait,
He
what
had
about
better
Casa
things to
Bonita?
do. Mike was there. That's why he wasn't watching the footage. He had better things to do.
Where was he?
Casa Bonita.
Okay, tell us more about Casa Bonita. What did you enjoy there,
Mike?
Celestino?
Casa Bonita is the Disneyland of Mexican restaurants.
It's true.
It opened in the early 70s in Denver. It actually had a few other locations, but I think this is the most famous one and the only one that's still around. But it was bought recently by the creators of South Park, and they renovated. They put like tens of millions of dollars into renovating it.
They went like 3 times over their budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had been there twice before the renovation, and it was still really, really cool, but it kind of felt like this relic of a dying era. And now it really feels like they breathed a new life into it, and we had an amazing time. We also went to Meow Wolf Denver, which is fantastic as well.
What's the highlight for you when you go to Casa Bonita?
Oh, they have cliff divers. You can see. I think my next post on there is the cliff divers.
Let me see if I can get it to open, because I have changed my login on Instagram, and I haven't been able to get everything to work right yet. Oh, there we go. A little bit of the. So
there's this is actually from video I shot from our seat. So we paid a little extra and got the premium seating next to the
I didn't
cliff
know
diver.
that was a thing. That's awesome.
Pool.
No way. Okay.
Yeah.
VIP seating for the cliff divers at Casa Bonita.
Yeah. They have a great puppet show that has the joke of the puppet show right now is that it stars the old menu items, because part of the refurbishment is they did away with the old menu that nobody liked, because people would complain like, oh, Casa Bonita is great, but the food is gross. So now the stars of the puppet show are like a anthropomorphic taco, and he's like bringing to the stage all these other food items that were fired from the old menu. And the climactic ending is I think a burrito on a swing that lowers from the ceiling, and it's a very obvious reference to the Country Bear Jamboree.
Nice.
Because Trey Parker is a huge Disney Parks fan, so there's a lot of stuff in there like that. There's Black Bart's Cave that you can walk through. They have a magic show as well, and the theming, the themed design of the whole place is just jaw-dropping. It's I feel like it was a hidden gem for a very long time, but it's gotten more prominent, I think, and more popular since the refurbishment.
And there's a full documentary about it on Max.
Yes, on Paramount Plus.
Oh, Paramount Plus. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, definitely watch the documentary. It's great.
As we wrap up, I want to thank Tony for filling in and say, hey, Tony, let people know what else can they find you doing around here at Laughing Place in the days ahead that you want to share.
All kinds of stuff. Right now, the big thing is there's a new show on Disney Channel that I recommend people of all ages watch. It's called Stugo. It's animated. It's the most absurd and wild sci-fi thing I've seen in a very long time. And I love like the last week episode, we had a genetically modified manatee with human intelligence that babysits kids and gives them stickers to build doomsday devices. So it's the Nanny Tea. And I love every second of it. So tune in.
Okay, so I will put some links to Tony's writings on it. But like he says, go check it out. And Mike,
I don't want to lose this one. Everybody, please tune in.
I know you'll be back next week, Mike. But in the meantime, what can people find you doing around here at Laughing Place?
Well, tomorrow is the season or series finale of Star Wars Skeleton Crew. We don't know which, but I'll be writing a review and recap of that. I'll do an Easter egg post of episodes 7 and 8, and then on Thursday at some point we'll be back here live doing Who's the Boss with a guest that I have yet to book, but I'm working on it for talking about the Skeleton Crew finale. So that's this big week. Yeah.
Very cool. And I'll be back tomorrow with Barely Necessities. It's where we talk about Disney merchandise live right here, 4 p.m. Pacific. So be sure to check us out. In the meantime, I want to say, if you're going to book a Disney vacation or any other travel, be sure to check out our friends over at Mouse Fan Travel. and they will be sure to help you with all your vacation needs and planning there. And with that, see you all next time. Bye.